This is Frank Islam, Chairman and CEO of FI Investment Group and your host of Washington Current Review, where we interview leading voices from business and politics and explore the topics of current interest that impact you, the viewer. Today, our guest is Peter Asaad, Managing Member of Immigration Solutions Group, a leading immigration law firm. He'll be talking about immigration law and public policy. As you all know, this is a very hot topic these days. Peter, thanks for coming.
Oh, thank you.
I really appreciated that very, very much.
Thank you.
Now tell me, Peter, everyone is talking about comprehensive immigration reform. Exactly what is comprehensive immigration reform? There's a lot of words over here, and when will it happen?
Well, Frank, there have been many immigration problems that have piled up, and politically it's very difficult for Congress to deal with any of the problems in isolation. It's been very difficult for them over the years. So what comprehensive immigration reform represents is an approach for Congress to deal with all of these immigration problems that have piled up simultaneously. Now, in 2006 and 2007, Congress tried to address comprehensive immigration reform, but did not succeed.
Under the Bush administration?
Correct. President Obama has made it a priority, but it's only one of his priorities. He says he would like from Congress to see a bill by early 2010. However, that is not certain, given the fact that he has priorities that he has stated, such as healthcare, energy, and
environment, education. The list goes on and on.
Exactly.
Now that you explained to us about the comprehensive immigration reform, what does it do for immigrants that are inside or outside the United States?
Well, the various problems that comprehensive immigration reform will address are very fundamental. One of the greatest problems that has piled up over the years is the 10 to 12 million undocumented immigrants in the United States.
10 to 12 million undocumented illegal immigrants in this country.
That's correct. So what comprehensive immigration reform will seek to do is put them on a pathway towards legalization and, in fact, citizenship after showing good moral character, paying back taxes, paying penalties, so that they would be in the system as opposed to on the fringes.
Okay.
But in addition to addressing the undocumented, it will also address the families that have been separated due to the very long backlogs that are keeping families abroad from joining their families in the United States. So it will actually add the number of green cards that are permitted per year. And likewise in employment, it will help the time period in which one could get a green card by increasing the number of green cards. And it will adjust the flow of the number of needed employees for employers. It will try to increase the number of, for example, H-1B visas as well. Mm-hmm. So there are a number of things that comprehensive immigration reform will address, and a number of ways different people will benefit if such legislation passes.
I hope the Republican will go along with this. How can a person come legally to the United States?
That's a great question. There are
legally.
Yes, there are 3 or 4 different ways, general ways to do it. One is through a family sponsor.
Good.
So, for example, your U.S. citizen spouse could sponsor you. Also, other immediate family members. So, a individual who is a U.S. citizen could sponsor their parents.
Their brothers and sisters?
And their brothers and sisters.
Their spouses?
And their spouses. Now, the brothers and sisters, it takes quite a bit of time.
A long time?
Long time. It could be anywhere from 5 to 10 years.
More or less 15 years if you're South Asia.
Correct.
This is how long it takes.
Right. There's quite a backlog there.
Yeah.
Well, also there's employment. So you need, again, an employer sponsor.
Okay.
And you can come in temporarily or on a green card.
Okay. So there are a lot of avenues here.
Right, and just third and fourth, you can go through asylum if there is a well-founded fear of persecution in your home country. And finally, there is something called the diversity lottery, which allows individuals from certain countries that are underrepresented to apply, and there are in fact individuals who come. It's not too exceptional, such as it's not quite like winning the lottery,
Got you.
but they do call it the lottery, the diversity lottery.
Now you touched upon H-1B visa. What
Yes.
exactly is H-1B visa is, and how do people get them?
Well, we hear a lot about H-1B visas, and it's an employer-sponsored temporary work visa.
They have to get that visa in their own in their host country. Am I correct?
No, actually, they can, for example, students.
Oh,
who
students can get a visa.
Can get it
Okay.
as well. So it could work that way.
Okay.
You're right, Frank. It could work that way from your home country. You can come in on an H-1B visa, or students often, after graduating, move onto an H-1B visa to work for an employer. But it is an employer-sponsored
And how long
visa.
can they work on H-1B visa?
Initially 3 years.
3 years.
And then
Okay.
they can extend it for an additional 3 years to 6 years.
Okay.
And then there's a provision in the law that actually allows it beyond 6 years if they have a simultaneous green card pending. So you can, what's great about the H-1B visa is if the company wants to keep the individual more than just on a temporary period of time, you can ask your employer to sponsor you for a green card and do that simultaneously as you're on the H-1B, and go beyond the 6 years of the H-1B until you actually get the green card.
So how is H-1B visa different
Mm-hmm.
from green card?
Well, the H-1B visa is temporary and it is employer specific, but the green card, one could be on a green card and not work, or they could work and they could work for themselves, have their own business. They could work for any employer that they choose. So there's a lot of flexibility in having a green card, and again, it is permanent.
It's permanent. The green card is.
Exactly.
And after you get the green card, then you have to stay for 5 years to get your citizenship.
Yes, generally it's 5 years, but there are exceptions. If you're married to a U.S. citizen, the wait is only 3 years on a green card to be able to apply for U.S. citizenship. But absolutely, you have to have that green card in order to move on to U.S. citizenship.
So how does a person get a green card?
Well, there are a number of different ways. Again, you can do a family sponsor or an employer sponsor. Now, there are only a certain number per year that are available. There is a
That depends on the country
well.
they were born.
First, there's 140,000
140,000.
for employers
Okay.
that employers can use to sponsor employees per year. But what you're getting at is absolutely correct. There's a cap per country of 7%, which we've seen a problem, for example, with India and China. Now the problem is in the law that there's only the 7% cap. And what we then encounter is a backlog, a waiting period, where those numbers are reached, and then there's a waiting period, and maybe somebody who's applied in 2002 is still waiting, or even sooner. So there is that issue as far as employer visas. Now, there are family visas as well to get a green card. It's about twice the number as employment visas. However, there is a long wait for brothers and sisters, but there's no wait except for the normal process for immediate family members such as spouses, children, and parents.